It's Arbor Day, and what better way to celebrate than by planting a tree? Well, how about planting 200 trees? That's what's happening in CMSD with the help of community volunteers and a lot of students coming together to help make this event grow. Mayor Frank Jackson and other community partners came together here at East Tech to help kick off the event. Let's take a look.
I would also like to thank Cuyahoga County Council and Cleveland City Council for sending resolutions in support of today's events that said, and I quote, "We commend Do More for Good for inspiring individuals to do more for good and spreading kindness through our community." And last, but definitely not least, we would not be able to do this amazing project today without the support and volunteers from Mayor's Office of Sustainability, the Cleveland Foundation, Davey Trees, Eaton, the Ohio State University Agricultural Technology Institute, Rockwell Automation, WKYC, and many more. Now, please join me with a very special welcome guest, Mayor Frank Jackson.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good. You know, I want to welcome everyone to East Tech and to Arbor Day, and a special thanks and congratulations to the Western Reserve Land Conservancy and Do More For. What is it? Do More for Good. Do More for Good. That's it. Well, how many of you will be actually planting trees? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, as we look at, you know, there's a big discussion and a big debate, not just in Cleveland, but around the country and really the world, around this whole climate issue and whether there's global warming and all these kind of things. And one of the essential things that they talk about in order for us to be able to create an environment and create a climate that is good for human life and life in general is trees. So just planting that one tree may seem like nothing, but in the whole scheme of things, when you look at the ecology of the world, trees are very essential and important to life. So again, I want to welcome everybody and really thank all the sponsors and the people who made it possible for you to be able to do what you're going to do today. Thank you.
We have quite a few volunteers that are planning not only here, but other places. And the volunteers are from Collinwood High School and East Tech. They say that Cleveland has lost trees in the canopy, and this will help to restore what we've lost.
Good morning, and a special good morning to Mayor Frank Jackson and to the audience, especially the Scarabs, because I am a Scarab, class of 75. I'm gonna get that in. Congresswoman couldn't be present today, but in honor of what you're doing, she did want to share her respect for the moment. This is congressional recognition presented to East Technical Senior High School, Collinwood High School, Do More for Good, and the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, and the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. Congressional recognition presented to each of the names in recognition of the Arbor Day Celebration and the Tree Planting Unity Day. You must be the change you wish to see in the world, by Mahatma Gandhi. It is a pleasure to wish a happy Arbor Day to the students, faculty, and principal of East Technical Senior High and Collinwood High, the Western Land Conservancy, the Do More for Good. I applaud the Western Reserve Land Conservancy Do More for Good in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District for agreeing and partnering to create Tree Planting Unity Day. It is essential for the community to learn about the importance of trees and how they are planted and maintained. On behalf of the citizens of the 11th Congressional District of Ohio, I am pleased to join the community in celebrating this well-deserved recognition of Tree Planting Unity Day. I salute the mighty, mighty Scarabs, the railroaders, the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. Do More for Good, and encourage them to expand the Tree Planting Unity Day to include additional school campuses in the future. I wish them continued success as they serve the community with distinction. Honorable Marcia L. Fudge.
I'm here with Latessa Scott, a freshman at East Tech who's in the agriculture program, and you have been hard at work out here today.
Definitely, it's a lot of work.
How does it feel to be planting trees, beautifying your school?
I think it's great. I love to plant. So, I mean, it's just it's hard work, but I think it's worth it. It saves the earth.
And why is a program like this and, coming out here, volunteering, planting trees, why is that important for students, for you? What does that mean to you?
Well, to me, it means a lot because I love nature. I've always grown things. Used to dig up dirt in our backyard. But it's important because to have, in the world, a lot of land's gone. It's being used, or animals are dying out, and it's horrible. So you have to know how to plant things. You have to know how to preserve the earth and everything. One day there's not going to be anything left.
Great advice. You are learning a lot here. And since you're a freshman, you're actually going to be able to see these trees grow and enjoy them over the next 4 years. So how do you feel about that?
I think it's great. I'd love to see them grow because I know I planted them. I get to see my work grow. I get to see how it turns out, and then future generations of East Tech students get to see it. They get to know people planted these. They're saving the earth.
Okay, our next distinguished speaker is representing the CEO. So at this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Michelle Pierre-Farid.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, to be able to celebrate this great work that we're doing today. I know that our CEO, Eric Gordon, wanted to be here today, but he's actually in Washington, D.C. But he asked me to send his deep appreciation to our guests today for making this project a reality. We want to give particular thanks to Do More for Good and to the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. The Western Reserve Land Conservancy has a mission to make the region a better place. They do this through land conservation and restoration. To date, the Land Conservancy has permanently preserved more than 45,000 acres and led the efforts to create 27 county land banks across Ohio and planted more than 1,800 trees in just the city of Cleveland through its Reforest Our City program. Today's work will bring the total to roughly 2,000. You're a part of this great work today. And we're extremely grateful for the generous commitment to our schools, to our students, and most importantly, to our city. We're especially thankful because we know that environmental education improves all learning. Education programs with these types of impacts help with higher scores on standardized tests, but also supports the environment. So you get a 2-for-1 sale with this great work. Do More for Good has been working in our schools since last year to help our students grow as people and learn how we can make our community through volunteering and acts of kindness better. Do More for Good wasn't even recruited to come here. They aren't even being paid. They're volunteering. They simply are following their mission to make a world a better place, and they wanted it to start in Cleveland at the East Technical High School. I am very glad to be here today to plant a tree in the memory of our most esteemed alum, one of the greatest runners in history. Let's all say it together. Jesse Owens. Yes, how great this is. Jesse Owens is in particular special to the school, which is why Do More for Good has worked with the students throughout the year to commemorate his accomplishments through civic projects like revitalizing the Jesse Owens indoor track here at East Tech. I probably should run after we have doing this. The organization name is certainly appropriate. They have done a great deal of good here, and we thank them very, very much. But we also thank each and every one of you today. We thank our volunteers, we thank our scholars, we thank the organization, and we thank the City of Cleveland and Mayor Frank Jackson for this commitment for making the change. So once again, congratulations to everyone that's here. Thank you so very much, and let's make it happen.
I'm here with the principal of East Tech as his school is getting beautified out here. How does it feel to have this going on?
It feels good. I mean, we really appreciate the community coming out to assist us. We also appreciate the Do More for Good organization as well as the Western Reserve Land Conservancy to donate these trees to make our campus look very beautiful.
It's going to be a big change. I mean, how excited are you to see this happening out here, your front lawn?
Right. It looks great. I know it's going to look great. I know when we sat down to kind of do the planning, I really couldn't see the vision, but now that I see the students out here planting the trees, I can definitely see the vision. It's going to look great.
You have a lot of students out here getting their hands dirty. I know your gloves are dirty. What's it been like to actually, be side by side with your students and doing this kind of work?
Actually, it's building some relationships. Obviously, we already have relationships, but I think when the students see their principal coming out, assisting them side by side, getting the job done, they really appreciate it. So it's been great for us.
Why is that kind of thing, that connection, those relationships, why is that important as a principal and for your school?
For me personally, I think they need to see me in an authentic manner. So, a lot of times that's how they see me. Well, that's the principal. He has these expectations for us. But to see me in this environment, working side by side with them, it makes them feel, oh, Mr. Taylor is real. He's coming out. He's getting his hands dirty. He's one of us. So.
And what do you think the students are taking away from this whole experience?
Actually, I think I know that we have several students that's a part of our urban agriculture program. So for them, it's an actual project that they're going to earn a grade for. But the majority of the students are just volunteers that just want to, make our school look beautiful and to make the neighborhood look beautiful.
We're doing a good job. It looks really nice out here. Do you have any favorite moment or anything that's really stuck out to you today?
Yeah, actually, when we took the ceiling from the Jesse Owens tree, because we're actually going to have a section that's going to be dedicated to Jesse Owens, but that was probably the most special moment for me.
A very special alum of this school. How did it feel to, have that moment for him and dedicate that tree?
It was actually really great because we had an opportunity to take the entire school to see the movie Race. So when I had a conversation with them last week about us planting that seed, they knew exactly what tree I was talking about because the tree was actually on the west side, but we took one of the seedlings and we planted it here at East Tech. So another good moment for us.
Awesome. Anything else that you want to tell us about this day?
No, I mean, it's been great. The students are having a great time. The staff is having a great time. And again, we just like all the support that's coming from the community, and we appreciate it.
It's a great day to be a scarab, huh?
Definitely a great day to be a scarab. Our next speaker is Dr. Leslie Fairstein for Do More. Fairstein from Do More for Good.
I think I need to down a little bit. I'll get on my toes. Oh, when you're vertically challenged, it's a little, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Yeah, that's great, thank you. It's my pleasure to be the executive director of Do More for Good. We're a national nonprofit organization that empowers individuals to do more for good by creating positive programs with volunteer opportunities that are supported, promoted, and sustained by local communities, as we've been doing here in Cleveland. It's a real honor to be here today for this Arbor Day tree planting. Do More for Good was founded in 2013 by Anthony Melikov with the goal of inspiring and empowering positive global change through acts of kindness. About a year and a half ago, I had the wonderful opportunity to speak right here at East Tech as we launched our pilot program, Spread Love for Good. Since then, this year, we've now converted that into the Do More for Good program. The Spread Love for Good encouraged students to perform acts of kindness and volunteerism. And it was so successful, we were asked back for this year, and it's just been an amazing program. Students competed and received awards last year and this year based on their volunteer hours and acts of kindness. Over half the student body participated in the program last year, with 191 students registering over 850 unique acts of kindness and more than 1,650 hours of volunteering. Faculty and other school staff also volunteered and participated at making truly a school-wide experience. This school year, we evolved into Do More for Good, and we've added Collinwood High School, and we've been there as well as continuing here at East Tech. Students, staff, and their families have been volunteering with local nonprofits working on Do More for Good's key issues of education, animal welfare, environment, and hunger. So far, students from both schools have logged over 800 hours of volunteer time with over 400 student volunteers across the two schools. Students at both schools kicked off the year by making blankets for a local homeless shelter, animal toys for the Animal Protective League, and toys for kids living in a domestic violence shelter. Hundreds of quick kindnesses have been completed at both schools. Kindnesses like writing supportive and positive letters to kids in a local hospital and to our current military members. Collinwood students have also participated in the Senior to Senior program, where they've gone to a local senior center. They've taught seniors how to use technology and write emails to their grandkids, and the seniors have taught them how to play card games. Today we have the ceremonial tree planting in memory of the great Jesse Owens. These students have worked to recognize the great contribution that Jesse Owens made to our collective history and to Cleveland. That work has included, as you mentioned, Dr. Fareed, the revitalization of the Jesse Owens track and East Tech, and you may have seen it on the news in February when the movie Race came out. Our goal at Do More for Good is to make the world a better place through kindness and service. Working with students to encourage these activities not only improves our communities today, but it also teaches skills and reinforces commitments that will have an impact long into the future. We cap off this year's program with today's tree planting, which symbolizes how we are working today to plant the seeds, or in this case, the seedlings, of tomorrow. Thanks to Collinwood High School, the Cleveland Municipal School District, the City of Cleveland, the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, our strategy, and many additional supporters and volunteers. We will all help transform this landscape for years together and potentially for decades to come. I want to give a special shout out to East Tech and especially to my friend Yolanda Daniele, Ms. D. Yay, Ms. D. for everything that they've done with Do More for Good over the past year. It's truly been an honor to work with everyone. So on behalf of Sharon Kidd, the program manager at Do More for Good, I'd like to thank you again for the chance to be here today and for all of your efforts to do more for Cleveland and the world. You set an awesome example. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farstein. Okay, at this time, I want to bring a special guest to the mic, the Honorable the Honorable Councilwoman Phyllis Cleveland.
Well, good morning, East Tech. I'm sure glad it's 75 and sunny today, somewhere. And although it's not the most beautiful day here, what you're doing is a beautiful thing. And on behalf of Cleveland City Council, and on behalf of myself, because this is my school and my neighborhood, I'm pleased to present this resolution of recognition from Cleveland City Council to Do More for Good, East Tech, Western Reserve Land Conservancy, and all of the partners who are participating today in planting trees in our community. And you've heard already what the benefit of planting trees of what trees are and what they mean to our community. There's no negatives. There's no negatives involved here. And so just remember, I just like you to remember one thing in addition. What you're doing today is you're providing something for your children and your grandchildren. The trees that you plant today won't grow that quickly. They won't be that tall this year or next year. But when you come back in 5 years, in 10 years, and you come back in 15 years and bring your children and your grandchildren, and you can point to the big trees that you helped plant and said, I did this for my community. Congratulations and thank you.
I'm here with the Director of Marketing and Communications of the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, Emily Baca. That's just one of the organizations that partnered to make this event happen today. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your involvement?
Yes, so Western Reserve Land Conservancy is a nonprofit conservation organization dedicated to providing essential natural assets like the trees behind us to the people of the region through conservation and restoration. And so today's involvement is part of our Reforest Our City program, where we are helping to bring back the forest city. The Land Conservancy has planted 1,800 trees in the city of Cleveland in the last year. Today we'll bring that total up to 2,000 trees, which we're really excited about. And so today is all about teaching students how to plant trees properly, beautifying this East Tech campus, and really, again, reforesting our city.
So how does it feel to be out here today and see all of these students hard at work planting 200 trees? You guys provided those, right?
Yes. So the Land Conservancy was happy to work with our partners to help source and put the trees here. So we especially thank Eaton and the Cleveland Foundation for helping fund the trees that are here today, as well as a whole host of companies that WKYC helped us secure. So we're great. We feel great about that. We feel great about actually seeing the trees in the ground. So it's been a long planning process, and one that we're really excited about because it's really going to beautify this campus and provide a buffer to East 55th behind us, as well as the health benefits that come with planting trees are just going to really help the students here.
And why here for these 200 trees? Why did you guys say, let's do it on this campus and East Professional Center?
Yes, so one of the other partners that we're working with is Do More for Good, and we're really excited to work with them. They work out of East Tech here, and they're also working with Collinwood, so we're working with both of those schools today to plant trees. So they approached us about the project, and then we brought the expertise to actually plant the trees.
Expertise is right. You are covered in dirt. It looks like you've been very hard at work.
Yes.
Why don't you kind of walk us through the process and what's kind of happening here today?
For sure. So in planting a tree, there's a couple things you want to check first. You want to make sure that there's no utilities below, no utilities above. You want plenty of space for your tree to be able to grow. The next thing would be digging the hole for that actual tree. So you want to make sure it's deep enough, wide enough, for the roots to really grow. Our students here are hard at work exposing some of those roots so that they'll have room to grow outwards and really sink their roots into the wet soil that we have here today. So once they're done with this, they'll go ahead and place that tree in the hole and make sure that the root flare is exposed. Root flare is probably the most important thing that we teach. You don't want to bury your roots all the way in the ground. You want to make sure that some of them, just the tops, are exposed so that they get the air and nutrients that they need as well. After they plant the tree, they'll fill it back in with some of the soil that's here and then put mulch around it. And when they mulch it, again, making sure that it's not piled up against that trunk, that it's really moved away so those roots can get the air and water that they need. Water is the most important part of this, and so after we go ahead and mulch around the tree, we're gonna give it 10 gallons of water. New trees need 10 gallons of water every week for the first 3 years that they're establishing. So we're excited to work with the FFA program here, the Future Farmers of America Club here at East Tech, to help us water those trees and maintain them.
So a rainy day today is a good thing.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing, but you can never count on just the rain for your trees. You want to make sure that you are constantly getting water to them.
Obviously you have a lot of knowledge, and I see other volunteers throughout where all the students are planting these trees. How many volunteers do we have out here, and kind of how are they helping out? Because I see students, they also are covered in dirt.
The students are definitely helping today too. So we have volunteers from the Land Conservancy who have some expertise in planting trees. We have some of our Sherwick tree stewards who have gone through intensive training on how to plant trees properly. We have volunteers from Jack Prince, from Rockwell Automation, from Eaton, from Congresswoman Fudge's office, so from the Mayor's Office of Sustainability, a whole gamut of volunteers who are really making this day possible because it takes a lot of people to plant 200 trees.
Sure does. Yeah, it's good. The lawns are covered with people and trees, which is a good thing. So how big, last question, how big are these trees eventually going to get? What's it going to look like out here?
Yes, so we have, I believe it's between 8 and 10 different species of trees that we're planting. Some of the trees are going to be a bit smaller, some of them are going to be a bit larger. Behind us we're planting some maple trees, and so you can imagine in 20, 30, 40, 100 years from now, they're going to be nice and tall, providing shade for the school, buffer to that street. So really pick the species that will do best here and provide the most benefits to the students.
Well, we can't wait to watch them grow. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We would like to bring Mr. Richard Cochran from the Western Reserve Land Conservancy. Mr. Cochran.
Hello, East Tech. We are very happy to see all of you. We're not training a bunch of old guys like me to plant trees today. I know you're going to get a lot done. And I'm telling you, the weather is perfect. You don't want it hot when you're planting trees. You want it nice and cool, and you want the ground soft like it is today. It's going to be perfect. I'm going to share one concept with you as to why we're here trying to make the world a better place with all of you. That is a quote from a famous scientist and philosopher, and he said, "Man shapes himself through the decisions he makes to shape his environment." And what that means is that all living things, from bacteria to all of us, are shaped by our environment. But human beings, what's different about us is we can use our creativity, we can use our minds and our hands to shape our own environment. No other living thing can shape their own environment. And what you're doing today is you're making the world a better place. You're making your environment a better place. And that's what creates a thriving community. That's what creates thriving people. What we've learned over the last few years is that trees are the common denominator of all healthy communities. And if you look at the entire county map of Cuyahoga County and you rank all 59 cities in the county, the bottom 5, unfortunately, are Cleveland, Lindale, Brook Park, Warrensville Heights. The top 5 are Hunting Valley, Chagrin Falls, Moreland Hills, Gates Mills, Bentleyville. 70% tree canopy in the top 5, less than 20% in the bottom 5. And it's not fair. We need to have a healthy tree canopy in every single city, in every single county in Ohio, and in particular in Cuyahoga County. Because trees, thank you. Trees improve everything. They literally improve human health. They improve respiratory health. They improve mental health. They decrease crime. They improve every single thing. And so what you're doing today is essential to the future of your community, and it's essential to the future of this city. God bless you all. Thanks for helping us make the world a better place.
Collinwood, I really appreciate you all making the journey to the East Technical High School. We appreciate you all for coming today for our opening kickoff. I'd like to thank my administrators, Mr. Hoover in his absence, and Mr. Taylor, for all the work that we do here at East Tech. It's their leadership that makes it possible for us to do the things that we do here. And of course, all of the volunteers. This took a lot of planning. We've been working on this for a very long time. But I thank you for the way your appearance today. I thank those that came out to support us today, because this is necessary for us and the community. How many people know someone that's affected by asthma in this community? The trees that we're planting today will assist someone with that. So it's important. It's not just like, oh, we're planting trees. What we're doing today will leave a mark for a lifetime. So give yourselves a round of applause for participating in that effort.
100 trees were planted all around this campus at East Tech, and another 100 were planted over at East Professional Center. Collinwood High School students were volunteering at that location. Reporting from East Tech High School, Shannon Kantner, CMSD TV.